being a journalist and being a foreign correspondent is very hard on the domestic front. I'm hardly the first journalist to find this out. One of the things about journalism, it is both an attraction and a drawback, is you're not in control of your life. You're at the mercy of events. So in the first 12 months, as I started out as a aspiring journalist, where China was convulsed by one huge story after another, and at the end of that year, with Mao dead, the country began slowly to open up. I was the first reporter for CNN to go, for example. So there was a sense that we were pioneers, that we were breaking new ground, that we were exploring someplace that hadn't been explored before. And suddenly these layers on the surface were being peeled away, and you could sort of see this kind of seething interior of Chinese society, where all of these tensions and conflicts had been festering and were suddenly coming to the surface. I was very concerned from the beginning that this was going to end badly. In fact, I still remember the first night students marched to Tiananmen Square in April of 1989. You know, as a TV reporter, you do this stand-up holding the microphone against the backdrop of the protests. And I remember that what I said in the stand-up was, how long is it going to take for the Chinese Communist Party to crush this challenge to its authority? But no one, including me, had any notion that it was going to end in the way in which it did. The way it did, with Chinese army coming into the center of Beijing and physically crushing the protest movement and killing a lot of people. And so it was very shocking as a journalist in the moment, is that you're so focused on doing the job. It's afterwards that it becomes harder emotionally. You come back, you've done the story, the adrenaline wears off, and then you say, wow, I just saw 5 people shot to death 20 meters from where I am. God, what is that going to do to me? Am I going to have nightmares? Decompressing is very challenging. And of course, when you come back, they're like, oh, great, you're back. So, you know, play with the kids and do all the domestic things. And it's like, I need 4 days to just get my head around the fact that people aren't shooting at me. And one has to be willing to accept it and willing to try and manage it, or you shouldn't do it. I must say, after I left CNN and became an academic, I had this wonderful moment. So a week after I left CNN, I was sitting in the living room of my new place in LA, and the phone rings, and it's CNN saying, the North Koreans have just tested a missile. You're not a correspondent, but can we interview you? Yes, of course, I'm always happy to help. But I don't work for you now, and I'm watching the ball game with my kid. I'll call you back when I'm ready. Goodbye, and I hung up. And it was an enormously satisfying moment for me, because I thought, okay, I'm in control of my life again, not them. What drove me is, fundamentally, in a democratic society, people need information to make intelligent choices about the world around them. They need to know what's going on, and that's a hugely important public service.